The Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, I'm pretty sure it's a movie that everyone knows, if not a lot of people know. It's so popular and iconic, and Jack Skellington is probably one of the most recognized, characters there is. Every time Halloween comes around, Night Before Christmas is all up in the stores. There's so much merchandise. Um, from Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I consider Halloween Town to be the best level in that game. It's one of my favorites, and the Pumpkin King Keyblade, amazing. You know, for a movie that came out in 1993, I think it was. I could be wrong, but yeah, 1993. It still holds up very well today. The animation still looks amazing. Stop motion. I think stop motion in general just looks very beautiful, but in this movie, the color palette is so freaking good. All these washed out colors, dark tones. It just looks so good, and it holds up very, very, very well today. Why, for a movie that's so old, why is it so popular as it is? Why is it so iconic? And seeing reviews and stuff like that, hearing people talk about the movie, the main thing they'll say is, it's a basic movie. You know, kids and adults, could enjoy it. It's a family movie. It's for everyone. They'll understand the story no matter what. But I don't know. I feel like this movie deserves more credit. I feel like there's so much more to this movie. There's themes of selfishness and wanting change and failure, and finding light in darkness. I think there's so much more to this movie that, on a casual watch through, you really won't pick up on it. It's a fun movie. It's Yeah, of course, it's a fun movie. On a casual watch through, you're gonna enjoy it. But I I'm probably reaching a lot, but I just see so much more to this movie. And I rewatched it like twice, and yeah, I found so much more to this movie. I enjoyed it a lot more now, definitely. I remember when it would come on as a kid and on Disney Channel, they would hype the hell out of it. They always announce, Night Before Christmas is next, hype it. And I used to be so excited to watch it. And as a kid, I love the movie. I love the movie. It's so good. And yeah, of course, not much to get on a surface level. A good kid movie, or family movie. But I recently watched it twice, and man, I could appreciate it way more. I could definitely appreciate it way more. I feel like I understand a lot more, and I feel like I can relate to it much more now. I want to start off by saying that Jack Skellington, the main character here, the king. He's the king of Halloween Town. He rules, the town. Everyone follows him. He's the leader. He's such a selfish guy, or Skellington. He's such a selfish, monster. He doesn't really listen to anyone. He always thinks he's gonna be right, and that ultimately leads to his failure. So Jack, he's he's tired of doing the same thing year after year. And he Jack's lament, I feel, is, that's what the song's about. Him wanting change, him wanting something different. He's tired of like the repeatedness of doing Halloween, even though that's his thing. That's what he's meant to do, and he wants to find something different. And I think Sally too. Sally, when he's singing that song, she's there as well, hiding from him. But she reveals that she understands him. She knows exactly what he's looking for. She feels the exact same way. And Jack, he sets off to the woods and finds the trees, and each tree has a specific holiday on it, and he's intrigued by the Christmas one. Goes in there, and finds something that he just never seen before. He's like singing the song, "What's this? What's this? What's this?" And he's just loving it. He's like, "Dang, this is something new." And he sees the sign. It says Christmas Town on it, and he's in love. He loves it. He's intrigued by it. He wants to do that now. So then of course he comes back, holds a town meeting, and tells everyone, or like he brings some stuff back from Christmas Town, shows all the monsters in the town, and they're all just like, "What the heck is this?" They're curious about it as well, and Jack, just assumes they don't get it. And Jack himself wants to find the meaning of Christmas, and he's trying to find it in these like material things. He's trying to find it, thinks it's a science equation, doing like these crazy math equations, trying to find the meaning of Christmas. Instead of finding it in himself. You know, finding Christmas in himself. But Sally gets this premonition that it's gonna go completely wrong. Holding up like this little twig thing, little plant or something, and it turns into a Christmas tree and it turns on fire. That's a premonition that is gonna go completely wrong. Sally tries to warn him about it, and of course, him being a selfish person or monster, doesn't listen to her. He just brushes her off. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I know what I'm doing." Jack doesn't listen, and Jack tells Lock, Shock, and Barrel to go get Santa Claus. And first, the first time they go bring the Easter Bunny, and Jack is like, "No, go get the actual Santa Claus," and they bring him back. And Santa Claus, Jack tells him his plan. He wants to do Christmas this year. It's gonna be him, the one delivering presents. And Santa Claus is, of course, like, "Are you crazy? Like, it's not an easy thing to do. I'm Santa Claus. Christmas is my thing." And Jack, being a selfish person again, not listening to anyone, not willing to get any help. He's like, "Nope, I'm doing it. I know what I'm doing." And then, he tells him to go take Santa Claus to Oogie Boogie, who's the villain of this movie. And, after all that, he gets the monsters in the town to make these Christmas presents. And of course, they're like horrendous things, super dangerous. And you want to put like one of them puts a snake, and they're definitely not getting the meaning of Christmas at all. And so Jack sets off and he's delivering the Christmas presents, but of course the kids and adults are getting terrified out of their mind. They're opening up their presents to find complete horrendous monstrous things, and they start calling the cops, and they start calling Jack a imposter Santa, and they get artillery weapons to start shooting him out of the sky. Of course, Jack gets shot down, lands on a weeping angel in a cemetery, which that shot itself is amazing. It's super good. I love that shot. It's really, really, it just looks beautiful. Beautiful. And Jack has failed, to no surprise. He didn't want to listen. He was being selfish. He just wanted to, to hear himself. That's it. He was gonna do Christmas, and that's it. And he's sad that he failed. But then he comes to terms with it, and almost immediately, he's like, well, at least I gave it my best. I tried my hardest. That's all that matters. And yeah, that's true. He did give his best. Of course, he should have accepted some help, but that's definitely one of the lessons that this movie's trying to teach. Don't be afraid to go out and try new things, even if they may be scary, even if it's out of your comfort zone. Just give it your best. And if you fail, it's not the end of the world. You could always try again. You can always try new things. Don't be held down. Don't be comfortable in your one spot. Go out there and try new things. So Jack goes back and he finds out that Santa Claus is at Oogie Boogie's place, And meanwhile, Sally was trying to save Santa as well, but she ends up getting captured by Oogie Boogie. So Jack goes, confronts Oogie Boogie, wins the day. Oogie Boogie gets unraveled, and just a bunch of bugs come out of him. And I love Oogie Boogie as a villain. He's like so freaking cool, and his song is so freaking good. I love it. Just so catchy. It's upbeat. It's amazing. And Jack saves the day. Tells Santa Claus, "I hope you can fix Christmas still." And of course, Santa Claus is like, "I'm Santa Claus. I can fix Christmas." And then it starts snowing in Halloween Town. And at the end of the movie, Jack and Sally share a kiss. And if there's one problem I have with this movie, I wish Jack and Sally had more scenes together. Like, they only interact like twice or three times throughout this whole movie. There's no chemistry there, besides Sally. Sally has her song, Sally's song, which is beautiful, by the way. It's my favorite song in the movie. It's so good. I love that song. And she's singing about how she loves Jack, and Jack is never gonna feel the same way about her. It's not meant to be. It's such a good movie, but you know, I mean, there is that one aspect of it, Sally understanding what Jack wants. Jack wanted change, and Sally understands him. And by the end of the movie, Jack sees that, maybe what he didn't need was a change of scenery. What he did need was someone to understand him, and Sally was that monster for him. All I mean, maybe all he needed was just someone to understand where he's coming from, and Sally was that person. But I'm supposed to believe that they're in love by the end of the movie when they barely interacted at all, and one of them was Jack just brushing her off the whole time, didn't even care about her, was kind of a jerk to her. Like, if you want a girl to fall in love with you, be a jerk to her, I guess. But that's definitely one problem I had with the movie. I wish there was more chemistry, more romance between them. The movie's not that long. I think it's like an hour and 19 minutes or something like that. They definitely could have added more scenes between them, but it is what it is. But yeah, you got selfishness in this movie. Jack wanting change, Jack failing, but accepting that it's not the end of the world. He gave his best. He has a positive reaction towards it. And another thing that I see in this movie that I really like is the town monsters. They look horrendous. I love how each of them is distinct from one another. Each have their own characteristics, and they look super good. Except for that droopy fucking like face guy, disgusts the hell out of me. But they're monsters. Monsters have always been perceived as evil. That's all they are, is evil. The town monsters are like super like supportive of each other, and they all work together to complete one goal. You could tell that this town, despite it being washed colors, dark palette, super scary monsters, they all just, like, I guess, love each other. They're all supportive of each other, help each other out. They all work together. These are not your typical monsters. There's definitely there's light and darkness in this movie. Monsters are not your typical evil villains. They got good in them. They got like good in them. It gives them so much more character, so much more depth. And I love that part of the movie. I love it. I think it's super good. It works super well for this movie. And another thing is, I definitely think Sally has so much more in this movie than Jack does. Like, or not, I don't know how to explain it. Like, she has so much more emotion. She adds so much more to this movie. That's super good. It makes me enjoy it so much more. She's a sad character, you know, she's like made out of yarn, and inside of her are like leaves, and she's being, you know, like she has this like toxic dad, you know. Dr. Finkelstein is the one that created her, and he just wants to keep her locked up in a tower, use her as a maid, and she just wants to escape. She wants change, you know, just like Jack does. And if she has the best song in the movie, it's so good. If you haven't heard that song, Sally's song, it's super good. You should take a listen to it. And I just love her as a character. She's definitely my favorite, you know, character in this movie. Even though there's, you know, the romance wasn't really there, but you could tell that she really cares, you know. She just wants the best for Jack. She's trying, and of course he doesn't listen to her. I definitely think Sally holds this movie up. She's like the glue of this movie, you know. I feel like if Sally wasn't in the movie, I don't think it would really work that well, you know. Definitely the glue of this movie. And you know, in my opinion, I definitely don't think this is a basic movie that everyone's making it out to be. Of course, on a basic, you know, casual watch through, you're not gonna think much of it. It's just a fun movie. You could, you know, sit back and watch with the family. Definitely during Halloween and Christmas time. It's such a good movie to watch. But you know, definitely now that I'm older, I understand more. You know, I know more about the world. I definitely can, you know, I definitely appreciate this movie so much more than I did back then, you know. I see so much more, you know, and I definitely think this movie deserves a lot more credit. And I can see why it's so iconic, why so many people love this movie, why it's everywhere in the stores. There's so much merchandise. Jack himself is such a recognizable character, you know. Oh, I can see why a lot of people love this movie. It's so good. And if you haven't watched it, I don't know where you've been living at, but you need to watch this film. It's so good. It's really good. You know, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If, you know, you like watching people talk about movies, like, definitely subscribe. You know, like and comment on the video if you please. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it.